Hi, Dr. Gilliland here, and I was asked about the PEMF machine that I use and why it looks different from the other machines in some of the videos. So I wanted to answer that question now. I use the MangaCharger Pro, which is the most advanced injury repair and pain elimination technology in the world. It's the Rolls Royce of PEMF machines. I'm not knocking any other PEMF machines or devices. If you get a chance to use any PEMF machine, do it. I've even suggested home units for my patients who suffer with insomnia and anxiety. But the home units simply don't have the power to eliminate the pain like the professional units do. The reason that I went with a MangaCharger Pro over the other professional units is simple. It has more power and more flexibility than any other unit on the market. With the unit that I have, I can control the intensity and the pulses per second, whereas other units cannot do this, even the professional units. The reason that this is important is because pulses per second determine the amount of muscle contraction a patient experiences. I'm going to demonstrate this. The difference between the machine and the videos is the fact that this actually lets me control the pulses per second and the strength or the intensity. And that's really important, and I'm going to demonstrate why that is. Now, these other machines don't have that capability, and I'm going to show you why I went with this machine. I'm just going to demonstrate this. So what I'm doing is I'm sitting here, I'm turning the machine on, and I'm going to increase the intensity. And if I was not able to control the pulses per second, here's the effect of increasing the intensities. As you can see, this is really intense, and it's almost hard to breathe with this type of intensity if you aren't able to control the pulses per second. So now I'm going to turn up the pulses per second at the same intensity level. So all I'm going to do is just turn up the pulses per second and see. I can sit here relaxed. I can breathe normally. My body's not, I'm not bouncing out of the chair. That's the difference between the MangaCharger Pro and these other units. If you look at these other units, you're going to see that there's only two knobs that control the time and the intensity, but they can't control the pulses per second. And that's really important as you start to acclimate to this therapy. You're going to want to increase the intensity levels so that you can basically recharge faster. And if once again, I'm going to leave the intensity level where it is, and I'm just going to decrease the pulses per second. And you can watch the effect that it has as I'm sitting on this chair. And it's hard for me to even do this because my hand's shaking so much. But this is what the other machines, if you look at people when they're doing that, it's a really loud clanging sound, and they're really just, you know, what I'm doing now is just real intense. But by controlling the pulses per second, that's all I did. The intensity is the same, pulses per second. So that's the real difference between PEMF machines. Now I also want to demonstrate the sound. You probably can't hear the sound because this thing is really quiet. The loudest thing about it is the fan on the machine to keep it cool, because you don't hear the loud clanging even when I turn it up, the intensity level all the way up. And if you're doing a session, a 15, 30 minute or an hour session, it's really going to make a big difference. So what I want to demonstrate now is these other pads. Lay on the pad and turn the intensity level up, and it will actually find your hot spot. So if I'm sitting here and my biggest issue was with my left shoulder, when I lay on the pad and start to turn up the intensity, I'm going to feel it first in my left shoulder. You know, a lot of patients say that, well, when your machine's only, the pad's only working on one side. It's not working on the other side. So I just have them turn around, face this way, and it's still the same shoulder. They can actually lift their shoulder off the mat and feel other places, or hot spots in other places. And basically, sometimes when people come in with one issue, they don't realize that they have other issues because they haven't had pain. But this technology, this therapy, will find wherever your problem areas are and address it. You can also increase the intensity in certain areas. So let's say that you are on the machine and you want to get the overall effect, but you also have maybe a bad back or sciatica. You can place this pad under you, and if, let's say, you've got a bad shoulder as well, you can do this, and basically what this does is it intensifies the field, the magnetic field in those areas. It's basically doubling the magnetic therapy in that area where the pad is, in two places. And you can also triple that by putting one pad on top of another. If you've got something like sciatica, you may want to do this to really intensify the field in that one area. But as long as you're laying on this pad, you are getting this magnetic therapy the whole length of your body. Now, I'm 6'6", so it's getting my whole body, so it's a long pad. So if I couldn't control the pulses per second, no one could stand it when I increased the intensity. The contractions would bounce them right off the pad. But with the ability to increase the pulses per second, as I go to these higher intensities, I can decrease the amount of muscle contraction, which allows me to use higher intensities for pain relief, and the patient isn't bouncing off the chair. And I did a lot of research before choosing the MangaCharger and considered other machines because a famous doctor who was very knowledgeable about PEMF therapy spoke very highly of these other machines and had a ton of patient testimonials. But when I spoke to doctors who actually used the machines, every doctor that I spoke to said the MangaCharger was head and shoulders above the other professional units. So I went with the advice of the doctors who actually use the machines in their practice and who don't have a financial interest in my decision. Also, if you'll notice, some of these machines are really loud when they pulse. The loudest thing about the MangaCharger is the fan. And since I have patients watch videos during their sessions, they would have a hard time hearing the video with this loud pulsing sound. So, to sum it up, all PEMF machines are beneficial, and I would recommend any PEMF machine. But I went with a MangaCharger Pro because it has more flexibility and offers more patient comfort. Now, I hope I've answered your question. If you have any more PEMF therapy related questions, shoot me an email or post a question on my Facebook page. You can get to my Facebook page by clicking on the Facebook icon at the bottom of my home page.